Hey guys, my name is Nicquel Terry and I am a reporter for the Detroit News. I am excited to be here to talk to you guys about my career in journalism and writing and hopefully help you decide whether you want to pursue a career in journalism or pursue something else. I formerly worked as a reporter in New Jersey for the Asbury Park Press. So yes, I was writing your neighborhood, writing stories. I moved to Detroit in March of this year, so it hasn't been that long since I've been back in Michigan, which is where I'm from. In New Jersey, I wrote about Asbury Park, I wrote about Neptune. I also worked for a television station called MeTV as a news anchor, so I did have some on-air exposure on TV while I was there, which was a lot of fun. And so I'm going to answer a few questions that Ms. Henderson gave me, and hopefully it can be helpful for you in your summer program. So my career in journalism started when I was in high school. I was working for my high school newspaper, and my senior year I was promoted to editor-in-chief of the high school newspaper. And I knew at that point, at the age of 17, 18 years old, that I had a passion for journalism. I loved telling stories. I loved getting out and meeting people. I was obsessed with local and national news headlines. So I just knew that I wanted to be a journalist. And so I went on to college and pursued a degree in journalism at Michigan State University. And at MSU, I was able to do internships. And when I graduated, I was able to land a job in my field as a news reporter. I don't know if there is a typical day for a journalist, because I always say that I chose this career because no day is ever the same. But for me, most days I go into our newsroom downtown and I will talk to my editor about what stories he needs for the day, or I'll have stories that I'm already working on. Some days I'll start my day out in the field covering different events, and I'll go to the events, I'll do my interviews. Sometimes I shoot videos and record video packages and edit them on my phone while I'm out at events. It just really just depends on what the news is. I mean, if I'm working on a breaking news shift, I may go in at 7 a.m. and have to go straight back out to cover a house fire, or have to cover a protest or a press conference. So every day is different, and that's why I love being a news reporter. So gathering information for news stories can sometimes be easy, and it can sometimes be very complex. It just depends on what the story is. I mean, usually you'll maybe call up a source and try to get a phone interview first, or some stories may require you to go out to your source's house or an event your source is hosting to get that information. You may have to do some research, do some digging. You may have to dig through documents or go to websites and try to find out information about people. You may have to put in information requests, which is by law, certain documents, certain information is should be made available to the public. So you may go to a police department or a town hall and put in a request for someone's salary, or I mean, just it really just all depends on what the story is you're working on. But there are many, many different ways to gather information. You have to just know how to find it and be very resourceful. So once you become a professional news reporter, you need to have the ability to put together a news story fairly quickly. That's because in many cases, you'll have only a few hours, sometimes minutes, to put together a news story. If it's breaking news, your editor or your news director might tell you, in 15 minutes, I need you on air. I need you to write 6 paragraphs about this breaking news story. The public isn't going to wait around for you to decide how you want to start this story off, or what you want to say. There's no time. So I think that's why in a lot of the larger markets in bigger cities, they require you to have more experience, because there really isn't time for beginners to be taught how to write when it comes to reporting on really big issues. So I mean, you have to be able to do it quickly. You have to be able to have sources and find sources for a news story. You have to be able to gather the facts and you have to also be accurate. Accuracy is very important because there's not much room for error either in this industry. And so you have to be able to write clearly and concisely also. I mean, you have people who need to be able to understand what you're saying, and you need to be able to, write a good solid story for the public. So literacy is very, very important in my career field, of course, because writing is probably about 85% or more of the job. It's important that you know how to put together a sentence or put together a paragraph and be able to spell correctly. It's critical, and I think that in almost any career field that you go into, literacy, writing, reading will be very important. Lawyers have to write, doctors have to write, police officers have to write, teachers. Everyone in most fields has to do some amount of writing for their everyday job. So I think it's important that you master that at a young age so that later on in life, it's not a problem for you. It's a breeze. Well, I hope that this was helpful for you guys, and I wish you all the best of luck in your summer program and also in the upcoming school year. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. My email address is right there on the screen here. Follow me on Twitter if you want to see what I'm doing for work every day as a journalist, and good luck. Thank you.